Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show. Jeffcoat and Luke Robinson with you tonight as it's homecoming here in Alexander City for the Benjamin Russell Wildcats, and that game is working its way towards a conclusion on what looks, Luke, to be like a happy homecoming.
Yeah, I think it will be, and some sad news in there for Benjamin Russell, certainly, or at least some scary news. Don't know what's going on with our injured kicker, but we'll see what happens. Wish him the best.
For those of you who are just joining us, Sean Rape, the outstanding, is he sophomore or junior?
I believe he's a junior.
Junior
Whatever
this year.
he is, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and outstanding kicker. And went down earlier tonight with what looked to be a knee injury. We don't know how serious it was. It's something that's going to have to get looked at. They, Brett and Randy were saying that his dad said they thought it might be ligament related. Going to have to get that checked out. So hopefully a strain or a sprain.
Yeah, you always hate to speculate too much on that and cause panic, because let me tell you something. When you've got a kicker like Sean Rape, that's certainly a big-time weapon for BRHS, and you definitely don't want to lose him.
There are so few high schools anywhere who can count on having a good shot at winning a game if you need a field goal from 40, 45 yards. That's a tough kick in high school, and across the state, there just aren't many teams that have that ability. Benjamin Russell is one of them if Sean Rape's healthy.
Well, think about this. Last week's Spain Park game against Hewitt-Trusteville ended on a missed extra point in quadruple overtime, right? I think 4 or 5 overtimes. So sometimes extra points are difficult. I'm watching the Blunt game tonight, and they're playing catch-up all night long, and they're down by 3 points. They score a touchdown to be down by 3, and even though there's probably 5-7 minutes left in the game, they decide to go for 2, and I can only assume they went for 2 because their field goal, their extra point kicking is not very good.
Yeah. Kicking is still one of those things that is not universal at the high school level, and it varies wildly.
Well, think about this, Jeremy. We can all remember big-time running backs in this state, or big-time quarterbacks, or linebackers, or cornerbacks, or whatever. I mean, there are people who still look at Michael Proctor when you think about kickers. I mean, name a bunch of great kickers that have come out of the high school ranks. I mean, it's very tough to do.
It is. And, you know, but nevertheless, like I said, we'll keep our fingers crossed that it's a minor injury, something that won't cause him to miss any time, and we'll, of course, be getting updates on that, I would imagine, Monday, Tuesday, as we get into the first part of the week. But nevertheless, the score right now is 28-7 or 29-7.
Last I saw it was 28-7.
28-7.
BRHS may start going for 2 now.
Yeah, and I went and I watched a little bit of that game, as is my habit on home games. I'll run over and catch. Usually I catch the second quarter. And a lot the same story for Benjamin Russell in this respect. Still very stout defensively. Strength of the offense is up front in the offensive line. I do think that Tyree Gray at quarterback is getting better and better every week. And you heard some big completions tonight, some big pass plays. He's still kind of learning the position and getting better at it. Phenomenal athlete, but still getting better at the quarterback position. They seem to be improving there as the season goes along.
Yeah, and I think they will continue to improve. Now, here's the thing. You would think Coach Horn, with this particular team, would want to depend a lot on defense and special teams and allow the offense to come into its own as the season wears on. But now you could be without your biggest special teams weapon, because it's not just Sean Rape field goal kicking, extra point kicking, whatever. I believe he's the kickoff specialist too, and I know he can boot it deep into the end zone more often than not.
All right, quick update, and this is from right outside the local area here, but Central Phoenix City trailing Opelika all night in Bulldog Stadium in Opelika. Central Phoenix City has now taken the lead. They lead with less than a minute, 28-21.
Amazing.
Over Opelika. That's been it's been a point or so for most of that game. And Central Phoenix City now with less than a minute with the lead and a chance to get a win there in Bulldog Stadium. We'll talk more about that game later on, but that's a game, Luke, that I know people look at it and they go, well, gosh, Central Phoenix City 7A and Opelika 6A. These are old region foes that go way back, and these two teams have played each other tight and close and hard for a long time. I wasn't surprised that this game was as close as it was, and nobody else should be either.
No, as I've been saying on this show for a while, I think
Opelika would be a top 10 7A team. Do you agree with me on that?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. In fact, I think the top 4 teams in 6A would all potentially be top 10 teams in 7A. Now, would any of them be ranked number one? Now that Spanish Fort has lost their quarterback, it looks like, Tyler Johnston, I doubt it. I doubt they would be ranked number one. But Shades Valley's got 3 star players like maybe nobody in 7A has. I mean, they've got 3 superstars. And Opelika is right there. Clay Chalkville may have 4 superstars like nobody in 7A has. So, and by the way, just a primer, last week, what I thought was going to be the game of the year, Prattville against Central Phoenix City, and it was a great one. It was a classic, all those things. I have a new game of the year. Shades Valley, Clay Chalkville next week.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get some coverage on that one. All right, biggest news tonight in Tallapoosa County, and I don't think you'll disagree with me on this. Dadeville. Dadeville, we know, has not been an offensive juggernaut this year. They've kind of struggled to find their identity offensively. They've lost a lot of talent in the offensive side of the ball the last 2 years, not just last year to this year, but the last 2. But defensively, they've been stout. They've been solid, led by Anthony Jennings, Alabama commitment, one of the top high school defensive players in the state and in the Southeast. And Anthony Jennings and the Dadeville defense tonight getting it done against the hottest running back in the state, no question about that, Brandon Baines and Tallahassee. Dadeville wins at home 14-11.
And that's a huge win. Bradley Baines has just been absolutely killing it. He's had 400 yards a couple of times.
Yeah, well, I think I read he had 1,350 some odd yards in 5 games.
I mean, you say he's
that's an average of close to 300 yards a game.
And you say he's one of the hottest running backs in the state. He's probably one of the hottest running backs in the country. I mean, just get him the ball and let him do his thing. But Baines tonight did get a touchdown. He got a touchdown to pull Tallahassee to within 14-11. But give this Dadeville team a lot of credit. They are finding a way to win. They're in the same kind of boat as Benjamin Russell, although I would say Benjamin Russell is a little bit more potent offensively. But Dadeville is going to be strong, and if they can ever find anybody to give them some help on offense, I mean, they're going to be a real threat.
And defensively, there are very few worries for Dadeville. They can lock you down pretty good on the defensive side. That's a big win tonight over Tallahassee. So congratulations to Dadeville tonight. If you'd like to call in between now and 10 o'clock, please feel free at 1-800-782-0108. 256-234-6464 or 256-234-6221. We're going to step aside, take our first break, come back with more. How about a win for the Horseshoe Bend Generals tonight? We'll talk about it and more of our local scores when we come back on the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show. Stay with us.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that buy. Buy that buy. Huh.
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings!
High pressure, decline.
Guaranteed lowest price. I will pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide. War Eagle. Go Wildcats!
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, visit acpr.me or call 256-329-6736.
You know, any cowboy worth his salt has a great hat. Of course, a cowboy who has a love of the delicious grilled chicken sandwich from Zaxby's has a very special hat with a secret compartment to keep his sandwich hot until he's ready to eat it.
The Grilled Chicken Sandwich Meal. Grilled chicken topped with honey mustard and lettuce on a brioche bun, served with crinkle fries and a small Coca-Cola Freestyle drink. Zaxby's. Indescribably good.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace.
Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Welcome back to the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show, where it's Friday night, week 6 of the high school football season, and all of the teams now are officially halfway home. It's been a weird, staggered schedule kind of year, but now we're halfway home, and we make that kind of stretch run, Luke, towards the playoffs. Region play going to pick back up next week for most everybody. Some scores to pass along for you. How about Sylacauga, 42-28, leading Childersburg late in that game. That's a big win for Sylacauga in a rivalry game there. Reeltown tonight over Elmore County, 42-24, and it's official. Central Phoenix City, Opelika jumped on them 7-0, then it was 7-6, and that game just battled all night long. Central Phoenix City with a fourth quarter score takes lead 28-21. They don't relinquish it. Central Phoenix City defeats Opelika tonight 28-21.
I listened to a lot of that game online. It was a real back and forth matchup. Both teams really giving it all. It was a very well played game by both teams, and Opelika just had the lead all night long. Central Phoenix City makes the big comeback. I know Josh Johnson, the running back for Opelika, who's absolutely fabulous. He had a big night. At one point, I think in the first half, he may have had 16 carries for 106 yards. I'm assuming he ended up getting a lot more than that as the game wore on. And if you can do that against 7A competition like Central Phoenix City, who in my opinion is the best team in the state, then that says a lot about you as a running back.
And again, we want to emphasize tonight, Dadeville gets a big win over Tallahassee. I think Tallahassee had caught everybody's attention in the last couple of weeks, particularly with the performance of their running back. But the Dadeville defense getting it done at home tonight. They win 14-11 over Tallahassee. That's a huge win for Coach Richard White and that program. The Horseshoe Bend Generals tonight get a win 30-12 over Collinsville. So congratulations to Horseshoe Bend as well. And any other scores that we get here in this area, we'll tell you about. Of course, we do have Isabella tonight with a 35-17 win over Central Coosa. Just some of the scores that we're watching there. And it did go final a moment ago, 28-7, the final score for homecoming, as Benjamin Russell gets a win tonight over Stanhope Elmore. And that kind of sets the stage now for Benjamin Russell. And we need to look at this. I need to look forward on the schedule, because the question is, when do you play Valley? When do you play Chelsea? You know?
Yeah, that is going to be huge. And Chelsea, they were putting up some huge monster numbers tonight against Helena. And Helena, who had opened the season, I think 4-0, they will now lost the last two. Chelsea had 57 points on the board.
Wow!
And with about 8 minutes to go in the game. So they were leading by about 25, 30 points. So the foot was off the gas, I'm sure. My point is that when Benjamin Russell and Chelsea do get together, and we will check that schedule, you talk about immovable object versus irresistible force.
Yeah.
When you've got the defense of Benjamin Russell, which is, I would stack up there against practically anybody. I know some people will go back and look at that Opelika score where Opelika shut out BRHS 23-0, but I would tell them that a lot of those points were set up off miscues from the BRHS special teams or offense. So you can't really fault the defense right there. But when Chelsea and BRHS get together, it's going to be one of those showdowns, and whoever blinks first.
Well, get ready, because the next 3 games for Benjamin Russell, home against Oxford, on the road at Chelsea, and home against Valley.
Well, and Oxford got a monster win tonight against Vestavia. Oxford just –
that'll wake you up, won't it?
That will wake you up. But I'll tell you what, if you were – I bet you if you were Vestavia, you were thinking, okay, we've had some close losses here. We've been sort of –
yeah, Oxford's coming in 2-3.
Running on neutral.
Yeah.
And we can take care of this Oxford team that's 2-3, I believe you're
saying.
Yeah. Oxford, they will still punch you right in the mouth.
That's right. And they just did. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Walls Tire Horseshoe Bend report. That's coming up for you next here on the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show, brought to you by Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success. We'll be right back.
General's Cafe in Newside is the area's #1 place for great food with great people. General's Cafe has only the best home-cooked food served hot and fresh and is sure to feed your appetite. General's has everything from the delicious fish plate to big juicy steaks. Come in every day for lunch and get the daily special, which will fill your belly and save you money. When you're looking for a good meal in a family-friendly atmosphere, then make the short drive out to General's Cafe on Highway 22 East in Newside.
Over the years, Lake Martin Community Hospital has served the Lake Martin area with a personal touch and grown to better serve your needs, including MRI services, a community fitness facility, wellness center, home health services, hospice program, full-service pharmacy, family medical center, and Lake Martin Community Hospital's emergency room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever you need, whenever you need it. That's the personal touch that makes the difference at Lake Martin Community Hospital in Dadeville.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Central Alabama Community College first quarter show, where we are talking football tonight. We're getting ready for 10 o'clock when we go statewide across the Alabama High School Athletic Association radio network. We'll do that coming up top of the hour. In the meantime, Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge there on Highway 280. Big supporters of the Horseshoe Bend Generals, many of you know, and the Generals were successful tonight, getting a big win, 30-12 over Collinsville this evening, and one that the Generals, I know, will take to the house and run with. So congratulations again to Horseshoe Bend on their big win tonight. Again, Dadeville gets a huge win tonight, 14-11 over Tallahassee at home. Benjamin Russell is at homecoming tonight. They get a win over Stanhope Elmore. Final there, 28-7. It was Sylacauga leading Childersburg at last report very late in that game, 42-28. Reeltown 42-24 over Elmore County, and Isabella gets a win tonight over Central Coosa 35-17. And your phone calls always welcome here at 256-234-6221 or 256-234-6464. We understand that we've now been joined live on Kalijah Country 97.5 radio, so we want to welcome the radio audience in too, and welcome our first caller of the night. This is Randall over in Dadeville. How you doing, Randall?
I'm doing good. I've been sitting listening to y'all's first quarter show.
Right.
And y'all said that in y'all's mind that Central was Phoenix City.
Well, let me clarify here, Randall. Luke said in his mind it's
right.
Central Phoenix City. It wasn't a group decision. That was Luke's opinion.
Okay, like I said, I live in Tallapoosa County, and I support all teams in Tallapoosa County. And congratulations to all of them winning tonight. But, I used to work in Auburn and around Opelika, but I've got to disagree with him. Hoover's got the 31 in-state winning streak and count the last, 2 state championships.
Sure. That's right, 2 in a row.
Okay, and you got to give Lee County credit now. Opelika year before last, Hoover beat them
31-0.
Yeah, for the state championship. And then they turned around and beat Auburn last year.
That's right. And look, I'm not saying Hoover's not a good team. This is just my opinion. This particular year, I think Central Phoenix City.
That just goes to show you both of those in 7A now, Auburn and Opelika, that just goes to show you what kind of talent that they have in Lee County.
Well, Opelika is still 6A.
Yeah,
Auburn moved up to 7A. I will say this as far as the last 2 state championships for Hoover. The one last year against that Auburn team, to me now, and I don't mean this any disrespect to Opelika, was a lot more impressive than the win over Opelika 2 years ago.
Without a doubt.
Because that Opelika team, if you'll remember 2 years ago, was not a team that was dominant through the year. They caught fire at the end of the year. They got on a winning streak, and then they hit the playoffs, and they were just as hot as anybody, and got in there and probably weren't talented enough to really challenge Hoover that year. That Auburn team last year was talented enough to challenge Hoover, and athletically, and Hoover got it done.
And Randall, let me add this, okay? Hoover is still very talented. They probably have more D1 prospects on that team than does Central Phoenix City or any other team in the state, for that matter. However, the combination of the athletes Central Phoenix City does have, and they've got some guys on that team that could without a doubt start for Hoover or anybody else, and the addition of Jamie DuBose as a head coach, who I'm just completely enamored with. I think he's fabulous. I think Josh Niblett's fabulous too. But Jamie DuBose, in my opinion, is going to end up winning the state championship. That's just the way I look at it right now.
Yes, sir. Is Mr. DuBose, is he into the coast? You be the head coach at Alabama, at University of Alabama?
I don't believe so, but I don't know that for a fact.
I don't know of any family connection there.
I don't either. I'll look into it. You know, it's not exactly the most common name. It's not Smith or Jones.
Yeah,
so, I mean, I guess there's a possibility, but I don't believe so.
Hey, Randall, listen, thank you so much for the call, okay? Continue supporting all those teams here in Tallapoosa County.
Okay, thank you, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you,
buddy.
Tigers.
All right, there you go. Yeah, go Tigers. Daveville, big win tonight, and like he pointed out, it's been a pretty good night around Tallapoosa County for football. Benjamin Russell, Dadeville gets a win. Horseshoe Bend gets a win. Reeltown gets a win. You go all around the board tonight.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing with Dadeville. It sure seems like these last several weeks, and I don't have all the scores in front of me, that you can go ahead and save our scorekeeper some time and just put 14 on the board
14
for
Dadeville.
Dadeville. Because that's what they always have, win, lose, or draw. It seems they're always around there. At least.
But, you know, you always hear coaches talk about finding an identity as a football team, right? I think Dadeville is kind of starting to find that identity. Okay, we're not going to be the explosive offensive team that we were the last couple of years, right? Because they've had some tremendous offensive players the last 2 years, and really longer than that. This year, it's not that they don't have good offensive players. They got a lot of inexperienced guys on the offensive side. They got some youth over there and some guys that are going to be explosive. But it may be that Dadeville's kind of finding out, okay, our identity is we're going to be a defensive team that's going to win games tight. We're going to win games late, and we're going to shut down your best player, which, again, we don't know what the stats were for Baines tonight for Tallahassee, but obviously with just 11 points, obviously he didn't have one of his 400-yard games like he's been having.
It sure doesn't sound that way, but I'll say this. I had a friend I know that went to the game tonight at Dadeville, and I haven't gotten a report. However, if Baines did not have one of his classic games, I would caution everybody, look, he's playing a really good defense tonight, and he still did torch Central of Clay last week. He just absolutely torched him, and that's a good defense as well. So he's got the ability, but, you know, another thing that we're seeing tonight, I think, in some of these games is there could be some hangover effect. There are some teams that played really well last week, got a big win. I know Gadsden City is one of those teams. That's a team that's up to number 3. They're ahead of Central Phoenix City right now in the rankings. And they had a huge game last week against Bob Jones, beat them soundly. And the last I checked, they were down 7 points tonight to Hewitt-Trussville.
That's right. And, you know, that's the thing. Now is the time, because, you know, you and I talked about this earlier today. There are not a lot of premier games. There's not a lot of region action tonight around the state, not just here, but around the state. And without there being a lot of region action, you don't get a lot of those big region games. But then you start looking at the schedule for the next 3-4 weeks, and every region has huge games for the next 3-4 weeks.
Well, there's some absolutely monster games next week. I already mentioned Clay Chalkville at Shades Valley. That's one that, you know, if you can call in sick and go to that game and be okay. But Spain Park and Hoover play next week on Thursday night, actually. That's a huge game.
All right, we have a caller on the line. Let's go to the phones. We got about 45 seconds. How you doing?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
was at the Dable game tonight, and you're absolutely correct as far as them being a good offense. They're young. They're maturing every game. Dable's defense, anybody that's going to play them this season or from here on out better watch out.
Yeah. If you're going to get points, if you're going to get points on Dable, they're going to be hard to come by this year.
How did?
Oh yeah, you're not going to get past the brick wall that we have in Dable.
How did the running back for Tallahassee look? If you could tell us really quickly.
Well, he hit the brick wall tonight. That's about.
Hey, give us a go, Tigers. All right.
Go Dable Tigers all the way.
There you go. We're going to have Kevin Keel on, the play-by-play voice of the Tigers, later on in the statewide portion of the show, which is coming up. This is the Central Alabama Community College first quarter show. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. We are your dealer for Nature's Miracle state-of-the-art water filtration systems, providing sales and installation of systems for your whole house or under sink. Join our Diamond Club and enjoy many benefits and services while saving money and getting priority service scheduling. We offer financing, and our services include a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. All our technicians are trained, background tested, drug screened, and wear photo IDs to ensure your safety and peace of mind. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Advanced Heating and Air is East Central Alabama's certified train comfort specialist. That means the pros at Advanced make you the focus with superior service on all brands, 24-hour availability, and in most cases, same-day response. Advanced Heating and Air is exclusive with Train Heating and Air products that deliver the longest reliability and great energy efficiency with an amazing 0% 60-month financing package on all new Train products. The best service contacts in the region, and all pricing is upfront so you have no surprises. Advanced Heating and Air, where your comfort is our #1 concern.
There's a world of difference between a and a. And that's why you have to trust the best when it comes to your vehicle's care. The difference is TNS Automotive. From computer analysis to brakes, shocks, and struts, coolant flushes, tune-ups, air conditioning, even a major engine overhaul or replacement. TNS Automotive stands behind their work. They guarantee it. Count on TNS Automotive for all of your vehicle care and service needs. Call 256-329-9423. TNS Automotive, 141 Lee Street in Alexander City.
Hey, Jerry. Nice yard. I bet this dead wood really hits home for you. The only thing getting trimmed around here are property values.
Does it ever feel like your yard work is taunting you?
Where you going? The nail salon's the other way.
Take back your yard with professional-grade equipment from Echo. Reliable, easy to use, and backed by a 5-year warranty. Echo. Get serious.
Get your SRN 225 trimmer at Satterfield's, Highway 280, Alexander City.
Times change, but what Alabama banks on never changes. In good times or difficult times, people in Alabama know they can bank on community ties, common history, strong relationships, and trusted experience. That's why for over 110 years, Tallapoosa County has banked with Alliant. Log on to AlliantBank.com or come by one of our convenient locations and experience the same friendly service. Alliant, a century of banking on Alabama. Alliant Bank, a division of U.S. AmeriBank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Patterson Truck Parts has expanded. We have 7 bays, an overhead crane, and truck lifts. We have also expanded our parts department, offering everything you need. We offer major and minor repairs on all diesel trucks and trailers, 24-hour road service, computer engine analysis, AC repair and service, all-wheel alignment, welding, and so much more. Come by Patterson Truck Parts, check out our new building, and visit our friendly staff and the most experienced crew in the business today. Patterson Truck Parts, Radio Road, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City.
Amtech is proud to be part of the Alexander City area. Amtech understands the importance of education, athletics, and teamwork. Support from friends, family, classmates, and faculty play a big part of success on the field. Amtech wishes the Wildcats best of luck this year, not only in the games, but in all of your academic achievements as well. Good luck, BRHS athletes, coaches, band members, cheerleaders, faculty, and students from Amtech.
Some people think Allstate only protects your car. Here's the truth. Allstate can also protect your home or apartment, as well as your boat, motorcycle, RV, and snowmobile, and even your retirement and your life. Not many insurance companies can say that, but Allstate can.
For more information about how to bundle and save, you can contact Bland Insurance Group, either by phone at 256-392-9244, or you can visit us on Facebook or our website at blandinsuranceGroup.com.
Welcome back to the Central Alabama Community College First Quarter Show, brought to you by Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success. Jay Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, as we get ready to wrap up this half hour and move into the statewide segment of the program. We got a great show for you. Big night tonight in Tallapoosa County. Wins all around the board.
It's good to see that, because there have been a few nights this year that it hadn't exactly been that way.
It's been a little iffy on some nights. Not so tonight. Congratulations to Benjamin Russell, Dadeville, Horseshoe Bend, Reeltown, all getting wins tonight. Way to go, guys. We got to take this thing statewide across the Alabama High School Athletic Association radio network right now.
From the AHSAA Radio Network, this is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show, heard on great radio stations all over the state of Alabama and seen on the Alabama Cable Network, Channel 80 on Charter Communications, with all the scores, highlights, and reports from around the state. Powered by LMG. Brought to you by River Region Sports Fields, the Auburn Opelika Tourism Bureau, Olivia's Cabinet Design, a division of Continental Roofing, Russell Do-It and Building Supply Centers, and by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. Now, let's get you up to date on Alabama's favorite Friday pastime, high school football. It's time for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome in to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay Jeffcoat and Luke Robinson along with you for Week 6, as we have hit the halfway point for virtually everyone in the state tonight. And a lot of big games to talk about, although, Luke, not a big week for big region matchups this week. A lot of interclassification games, if you will.
Yeah, well, and also a lot of the top teams are off. If you look in 7A, number 1 and number 2, they don't play this week. Also, number 10, Spain Park, in anticipation of the Spain Park Hoover game, which is next week. If you look in 6A, the top 3 teams don't play. Mm-hmm. But here's what's funny. Number 4 and number 5 both lose. Actually, number 4, number 5, and number 6 all lose tonight.
Well, an interesting night, to say the least. Let's start. Just your reaction real quick, and I don't think it's any big surprise. In 7A, let's start there with the team that does have the week off. We speculated they lost the number 1 ranking after starting out the season 0-2 against 2 big out-of-state opponents. But the Hoover Bucks, back at number 1, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right?
Yeah, and they've just got so much talent. Bradrick Shaw at running back. You've got Darrell Williams at linebacker. You've got Christian Bell at linebacker. You've just got talent all over that field. The thing is, they have lost 2 games. Mm-hmm. And so if I had a vote, and I don't, I would be voting Central Phoenix City number 1. I think they've had the most impressive resume so far, and they're undefeated.
Well, and they improved that resume tonight as they go on the road and get a come-from-behind win against a team that is certainly deserving of that number 4 ranking in 6A and maybe deserving of the higher ranking in 6A, the Opelika Bulldogs.
And here's the thing. Opelika ended up losing that game, and it was at Opelika. However, I would not drop them in the rankings at all. I still think they are the 4th best team in 6A. They could be higher, but now that they have a loss, I believe that you have to keep them no higher than 4th, considering the other 3 teams are all undefeated and they all look great in their own right. Here's the thing to watch in 6A, though. Spanish Fort with Tyler Johnston going out, that may change everything.
Yeah, when the number 1 team loses their starting quarterback, how can it not change everything? And we'll see how Spanish Fort responds to that going forward through the rest of the year. We got a great lineup of guests tonight. We're going to run down some region standings for you a little bit later, too, and what I think is going to be the most interesting, or one of, certainly, stories to watch over the next 3-4 weeks, and that's how it plays out in 7A Region 1 over the course of the next few weeks, with Murphy, Baker, and Foley fighting Fairhope for that spot there in Region 1. It's a monster region, and they're gonna do like a little round robin over the next few weeks to kind of figure that out. We'll talk to Clark Stewart and Foley at WHEP about that in just a little while. First, though, we got to get to some Thursday night scores for you. It's time for our first edition of Scores on the Fours.
Getting you the scores faster. It's Scores on the Fours.
All right, let's run down Thursday night scores all over the state. First of all, it was Johnson High School defeating Marengo High School 38-24. Washington County wins big again, 53-0 over Millry. It was Verbena 56, Elwood Christian 28. Leeds High School, they keep rolling right along. They win 42-18 over Piedmont, a very good Piedmont team, mind you. The Montgomery Academy, they beat Trinity Presbyterian 20-11. It was Demopolis High School 28 defeating Jackson High School, who only had 21. That was a great game. At the end of that contest, Jackson had to get Demopolis had to get a big interception to secure that win. Carver High School of Birmingham 42, Woodlawn High School 7, Buckhorn 49, J.O. Johnson 18, Northview 14, Robert E. Lee 0. Robert E. Lee, their struggles continue. Hartselle High School 38, Grissom High School 6.
And that is Scores on the Fours. It's brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurants. For menus or location information, check out baumhauers.com. Baumhauer's Restaurants, legendary food, legendary fun. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Josh Bean from AL.com. He's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit about some of these games that went on tonight, especially that just a thriller tonight in Opelika between Central Phoenix City and Opelika. Again, it's 7A versus 6A, Luke, but like we talked about before, these are two teams that played each other for a long time, region foes in 6A. They're very familiar with each other.
Yeah, and it's not like there's so much separating these two schools. I mean, they were just playing each other last year.
Yeah, they're very close. So we're going to step aside, take a network break. When we come back, Josh Beam, Prep Sports Managing Editor for Alabama Media Group, joins us on the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us forever.
No, 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 wrong! Bring it in, guys! Take it easy! Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero!
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste!
0 calories!
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self-Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super 7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
You know Continental Roofing because of the thousands of satisfied roofing customers. But did you know Continental is your source for kitchen and bath renovations and for construction repairs? So whether you're looking for that dream kitchen, or you need that rotten chimney repaired, or the outdoor kitchen, call us today. Short on cash? No worries. Ask us about 6 months same as cash. Several financing options available. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store. Say, where have you been? I've been looking for you.
Well, Box, I've been at the job site measuring for some new windows and doors.
Oh, you mean the website?
No, I mean the job site where the house is actually under construction.
Oh, we could never actually leave the store and go to a job site.
That makes you a little short on service, doesn't it?
Service, free delivery, and price match guarantee. 9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson with you as we welcome in on the Olivia's Cabinet Design Hotline, Josh Beam, Prep Sports Managing Editor for Alabama Media Group, which publishes the state's 3 largest newspapers and AL.com. And, of course, running Football High Live as he does every Friday night, keeping us up to date on scores and action around the state. Josh Beam, how you doing?
Doing great, guys. Glad to be with you.
Good to have you here. Listen, let's start with what looked like just a fantastic game tonight down in Opelika. Opelika and Central Phoenix City taking it well into the fourth quarter. Central Phoenix City coming from behind there to get a big win.
Yeah, Central Phoenix City went on the road last week, beat Prattville, comes back with road game this week. Got a late turnover, forced a fumble late to preserve that win and win 28-21. A really impressive win, another one for Jamie DuBose's team, and this is a team that has played some close games, but it seems to every week just find a way to win. And now this team's 6-0. I think we have to look at Central Phoenix City as a true contender.
I want to go off the board here for a second to a game between Minor and Gardendale. It sounds like a game. Who's really worried about that one? It's not 2 ranked teams. But apparently that game opened up with a kickoff return for a touchdown, and then Gardendale returned the favor. They returned the next kickoff all the way for a touchdown. Minor builds a big lead. Gardendale comes back, and I believe there was a fumble recovery and scoop and score for Minor to win it in the last few seconds. How wild was that game?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I think scoop and score is right around 50. Minor ends up winning 50-3. This was a homecoming game for Gardendale, so Minor goes to Gardendale and spoils homecoming a little bit tonight. But yet, folks who stay, folks who were there for the whole game, they certainly got their money's worth with that one. Seeing 93 points put up on the board, that doesn't happen every week.
Josh, what's going on with Estavia right now? They lose again tonight.
Well, I think part of it is that they're playing good ball. I think that they're not terribly explosive on offense. I jokingly call it buddy ball, but what they want to do is, they want to control the clock and run the ball and play to their defense, but they don't really have a true game breaker on offense. And I think, when you're playing in 7A and the margin of error is really small, frankly, in 6A and 7A, if you don't have that true game breaker, I think it can be a real problem.
Let's talk a little bit about the 6A number 1 team, Josh. They have the week off this week, but Spanish Fort is going to have to get it done down the stretch without Tyler Johnston, their starting quarterback. How deeply does that affect this Spanish Fort team?
Yeah, and we really don't know. The truth is that bringing Spanish Fort comes to offense that he runs, he puts a lot on his quarterback. It's a spread offense in which if the quarterback plays well, the offense really hums. If the quarterback doesn't play well, the offense struggles. Tyler Johnston has been outstanding. He was amazing last year. He was even better this year before the injury. But he did have knee surgery. Not expected to play the rest of the year. They did have an off week this week. But we'll see next week what Mark Freeman comes up with. He's a guy that has proven throughout his career to be a guy who can really develop a quarterback. But now he's going to have to accelerate, the timetable for the next time. Tyler Johnson's just a junior. We didn't think we were going to see another Spanish Fort quarterback for a long time. So it'll be interesting. But they've got a really good defense, 3 really good linebackers that anchor that defense. I think you'll see them play their defense a little more now.
10 seconds, Josh. Tell me, where do you go next week, or what's the biggest game on the docket? Is it Hoover, Spain Park, or Clay Chalkville, Shades Valley?
Well, I think it's that Shades Valley game. And, of course, the Hoover will play, Spain Park will play Thursday night. So, people can get to both of them.
Yeah, get to both of them.
Exactly.
All right, Josh, listen, thanks so much for your time. Have a great Friday night, okay?
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Always enjoy it.
All right.
Thank you.
Go to AL.com. Check out Football High Live, Josh's blog that he does on Friday nights. It's fabulous. And another big upset, Bob Jones.
Goes down
Bob
again.
Jones, the number 1 team in 7A 2 weeks ago. But it looks like we've got another one to report to you, which we're going to do just about now, because it's time for our next edition of Scores on the Force. Thanks a lot again, Josh Payne.
Scores on the Fours.
Okay, running down 7A top 10 scores tonight. First of all, as we discussed, number 1 Hoover, they had a bye week, as well as number 2 Fairhope. They also had a bye week. So Fairhope sitting there at 5-0, Hoover at 3-2. Number 3 Gadsden City. They lose tonight to Hewitt-Trussville 31-27. If I'm not mistaken, Hewitt-Trussville was the team involved in that monstrous 4 overtime win against Spain Park last week. So 2 huge wins in a row for Hewitt-Trussville. Number 4 Central Phoenix City, 28. Opelika, the number 4 team out of 6A, 21. Central Phoenix City is going to keep moving up the ranks. Bob Jones loses again tonight. Florence, the number 10 team out of 6A, they defeat Bob Jones 36-29. And heavy is the crown. Ever since Bob Jones was named the number 1 team, they've lost 2 games. Hoover knows all about that, and Hoover's handled it pretty well. Foley 31, Robertsdale 13. Number 7 Prattville, they win a big contest tonight over Carver Montgomery 52-20. It was number 8 Oak Mountain 42, Briarwood 12. Number 9 Smith Station defeats Russell County 42-0. And number 10 Spain Park, they also had a bye week. Spain Park, of course, will take on Hoover next week. And as Josh Bean told you, if you can do it, get to the Hoover game. The next night, you can go check out Shades Valley Clay Chalkball.
Some other scores randomly around the state. Southside Gadsden 49, St. Clair County 14. Oak Mountain defeats Briarwood 42-12. Park Crossing over St. James 24-7. It was Northridge over Pelham 38-0. McAdory defeats Pinson Valley 17-0. Theodore defeats Greene County, Mississippi 32-7. Marbury over Chilton County 20-17. Scores on the 4 is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurants. We'll be back after this local break on the AHSAA Radio Network.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all-you-can-eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all-you-can-eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters can keep you safe from the storm. We offer a variety of underground fiberglass storm shelters available in 3 different sizes, or the double-hulled underground polymer shelter with a heavy-duty all-aluminum door and frame for extra security. Plus, we have several models of above-ground steel safe rooms and community shelters that can be installed in your home, garage, or place of business to keep you safe from the storm.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters, a shelter in the storm.
Patterson Truck Parts has expanded. We have 7 bays, an overhead crane, and truck lifts. We have also expanded our parts department, offering everything you need. We offer major and minor repairs on all diesel trucks and trailers, 24-hour road service, computer engine analysis, AC repair and service, all-wheel alignment, welding, and so much more. Come by Patterson Truck Parts, check out our new building, and visit our friendly staff and the most experienced crew in the business today. Patterson Truck Parts, Radio Road, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that buy! Buy that buy! Huh!
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings!
High pressure, decline.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide! War Eagle! Go Wildcats!
BiceChrysler Dodge.com.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
There's a world of difference between a and a And that's why you have to trust the best when it comes to your vehicle's care. The difference is TNS Automotive. From computer analysis to brakes, shocks, and struts, coolant flushes, tune-ups, air conditioning, even a major engine overhaul or replacement. TNS Automotive stands behind their work. They guarantee it. Count on TNS Automotive for all of your vehicle care and service needs. Call 256-329-9423. TNS Automotive, 141 Lee Street in Alexander City.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. It's Jay and Luke with you for Week 6 of the high school football season tonight as we welcome in our first correspondent of the night on the Olivia's Cabinet Design Hotline. It's Kevin Keel, WAXC-TV play-by-play voice of the Dadeville Tigers. And, Kevin, I tell you what, big game tonight in Dadeville, Alabama between Dadeville and Tallahassee, and I think what everybody was looking forward to seeing was that Dadeville defense led, of course, by Anthony Jennings, against that Tallahassee offense led by Brandon Baines, who's been averaging close to 300 yards a game this year. It sounds like just a monster matchup, that old irresistible force, immovable object thing. But Dadeville gets the win 14-11, so congratulations. Tell us about the game.
All right, yes. Me and Chad touched on in the pregame show. It was strength on strength. Their offense, led by Brandon Baines, versus our defense, led by Anthony Jennings. And defense prevailed tonight. I know Baines had 55 yards on 16 carries at the half. I'm not sure what his total was. I'd say 120, 130 time it was all said and done. But, man, just a great showing by the Tiger defense. Anthony Jennings coming up big. He had 8 tackles, 2 assists, and a huge pass knocked down late in the second quarter, as the Tallahassee Tigers were threatening. It was on 4th down, and they had dropped back to pass, and he got his paws up, and Trey Johnson was able to actually bring it in for an interception. So just a huge night for the Dadeville Tigers.
According to reports, it was also Brandon Baines who was intercepted from his running back position to seal the win for Dadeville. Is that accurate?
That is correct, yes. Tallahassee gets the ball back, scores 14-11, around 2 minutes left to go in the game, and he drops back, and he just kind of floats one out, and Isaiah Hicks, he's able to step in front and come down with it to seal the deal for the Tigers.
I'm sorry. Kevin, offensively for Dadeville, what do they need to do to get this thing turned around? Because it seems like every week they're scoring roughly 14 points. I think as the season progresses and you get into the playoffs, they're going to need some more action.
Yeah, I agree with you, but at this point we're averaging about 6 points a game given up. We've had 32 scored in 5 games, but you're exactly right. Tonight it looked like we're coming together as a whole, and I hope that makes sense to you. Not saying anybody didn't like anybody, but just everybody was not on the same page starting the year, and it seems that as we're going through this, that everything is starting to gel as we hoped it was. We got a lot of young kids out there, and not making excuses by no means, but the offense looked great. We had figured out what they were doing on defense in the first half, and they made some adjustments, but we were real, I'll say, conservative in the second half. Just we didn't want to make a mistake put us in jeopardy, being that we were up by 14-3. I think as it goes on, our offense will start clicking more. We had one call back. I'm not going to say it was a phantom hold, but it was a great block that they called a hold. We very easily could have had 21 points.
Let me ask you this, Kevin. There's you hear coaches a lot of times talk about establishing an identity. Now that we're kind of at the halfway point of this season, is Dadeville's identity this year going to be that team that takes care of the ball on offense and then kills you with that defense, and then try to lean on it that way and just win some low-scoring games if that's what you have to do?
Well, yeah, if that's what we have to do, I feel great about our defense's chances, of shutting offenses down. You saw tonight, the Baines kid, that's a great running back, and Dadeville was able to he's not a kid you're going to arm tackle or grab and bring down. He is just too strong and too fast. But Dable got several great tackles, got licks on him.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, that's listen, we're up against Scores on the Fours. Thank you again so much for joining us. Congratulations on a big win. Kevin Keel, play-by-play voice of the Dadeville Tigers. Here's Scores on the Fours right now.
Scores on the Fours.
Okay, 6A top 10. As we mentioned earlier, number 1, Spanish Fort, number 2, Clay Chalkville, and number 3, Shades Valley. All had off weeks. That's just an anomaly in the scheduling now. And when you've got this new setup where we have that extra week.
A lot of teams taking that mid-season week off, right?
Trying to get, you know what, and I think it just happened to work out for Spanish Fort considering they had the quarterback injury, and it also works out for Clay Chalkville and Shades Valley as they play one another next week. Number 4, Opelika, they go down to Central Phoenix City, the number 4 team in 7A, 28-21. No shame there. I suspect Opelika will not drop very far. Number 5, Carver Montgomery, they also lose to a 7A team that's also ranked. 52-20, they go down to Prattville. It was number 6, Daphne, losing to Murphy, 18-17 tonight in an absolute classic. Number 7, Blunt, they defeat McGill-Tulane in a tale of two teams going in opposite directions. Blunt wins 38-27. Number 8, Saraland, 49. Number 4, from 4A, Thomasville, 14. Number 9, Decatur, they win 28-7. And number 10, Florence, as we mentioned earlier, gets a huge win against the number 5 team in 7A, 36-29, Bob Jones.
You talk about struggling. McGill-Tulane now falls to 1-4.
It's crazy.
Didn't see that coming.
They started out, either number 2 or number 3 in the state. And sometimes, things get rolling downhill. It's hard to stop it.
That's right. Some other scores from around the state. North Jackson defeats Scottsboro tonight, 35-33. Dadeville, the aforementioned, we just had Kevin Keel on 14, Tallahassee 11. Oxford over Vestavia 35-14, and Glencoe over Hoax Bluff 42-14. Scores on the Four is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. We'll step aside for a network break, come back, talk Lawrence County and Hayden next.
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super 7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
River Region Sports Fields is a full-service athletic field company servicing the state of Alabama and the Southeast, specializing in construction, laser grading, aerification, top dressing, irrigation, and field drainage of athletic fields of any kind. River Region Sports Fields can manage the entire process of making the perfect athletic field for you. River Region Sports Fields. Give us a call, 205-617-4884, riverregionsportsfields.com.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this. Danger. You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
To speak with a farmer's agent in your community, call 888-96-FARMERS.
Where there's action, there's Encore. Professional. Responsive. Dedicated. Encore Rehabilitation.
With over 125 years as North America's leading shingle manufacturer, GAF has selected Continental Roofing for Master Elite status. Only 3% of all roofing companies in the United States can qualify for this prestigious certification. It means Continental Roofing can offer the best roofing system warranty available anywhere. With so many roofing companies that have come and gone, look to Continental Roofing to provide total peace of mind with your next roof. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson, as we get into some games tonight. And again, a lot of interclassification games tonight. Not a lot of region action out there going on, but we're going to bounce around the state a little bit, take a look at some games going on and some of the bigger issues here as we get ready for the stretch run towards the playoffs down the last 5 weeks of the season here coming up. Right now, we want to welcome in from our affiliate in Moulton, Alabama, WALW 98.3 FM, Benny Williams, who is the play-by-play voice for Lawrence County tonight, who got a big win over Hayden. Benny, how you doing?
Doing well, Jay. Thank you for having us on tonight.
Well, it's good to have you here. And listen, a big win tonight for Lawrence County. And really, other than a kickoff return, another big play, didn't give up a whole lot to Hayden.
Not a whole lot. Red Devils played very well tonight. It was homecoming in Moulton tonight, and, of course, a big homecoming win for the Red Devils. And started off early with 7:21 to go in the first quarter. Jacob Terry, the Red Devil fine junior running back, got loose on a 68-yard run. The point after was good, and at that point, Red Devils led 7-0. And then with 2:17 in the first, Tristan Smith, sort of a halfback pass to Jacob Hoare for 24 yards, and that's 14-0. Red Devils lead it, and with 2:17 to go in the first quarter. That's the way it stepped for a while, and then Colton Shirley, the wingback for Hayden, an 82-yard kickoff return. The point after was no good. That was 2:04 in the first, and at the end of the first quarter, it's 14-6, with the Red Devils leading it. And the score stayed that way till a minute 26 to go in the third, when Jacob Terry again ran 28 yards for a touchdown, gave the Red Devils a 21-6 lead. And then Shirley came back again with a pass reception. He was their offense tonight for Halebo. Fine young man, fine player. And he ended up catching a 14-yard pass. Two-point conversion was good. It was 28-14, and that ended up being the final. Buddy Griffin ended the scoring for the Red Devils with 7:02 in the fourth with 25-yard run, and that closed out the scoring for the night for the Red Devils. Jacob Terry carried the ball 17 times tonight for the Red Devils for 200 yards even. He had 99 last week. So he was the man tonight for the Red Devils.
Tell us about the schedule going forward now, Benny.
Well, the Red Devils, like a lot of teams, have 4 straight region games coming up, 2 of them at home and 2 on the road, plus Haleville. Next week we got Columbia out of Madison coming to Red Devil Stadium. And then after that, one of the big games of the year, East Limestone, who has proven their worth already this year out of Region 8. They'll be at home. Then we go to Russellville. Then we go to West Point, and then we end the season with a Haleville Lions, who we used to play all the time anyway when everybody was 4A. So pretty tough last half, but the Red Devils are 4-1. I like the way they're playing right now, and just keep playing.
Well, Benny, listen, we appreciate everything that you guys do at WALW there in Moulton, 98.3. Best of luck. Congratulations on a big win tonight. Good luck going forward for Lawrence County.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you having us on.
All right, thank you. Benny Williams joining us tonight from WALW in Moulton, Alabama, where Lawrence County gets a win over Hayden tonight, 28-14. And, you know, he mentioned you sitting there at 4-1. A lot of teams, the next 4 weeks, region games, or 4 out of 5, or 3 out of 4. You know, a lot of region games coming up.
Well, it's funny, doing a little research for this particular interview, Hayden actually had an offensive explosion tonight. They had only scored 6 points up to this point in the season. They'd been shut out their first 3, got 6 last week, 14 this week. You know, at this rate, if they keep doubling up or more than doubling up, they're going to get that first win.
Get some points coming there sooner or later. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to take a look at some of the more interesting regions around the state. We've got an open segment, no guest in the next segment, so I wanted to kind of bounce around a couple of regions that I find interesting, the standings there and some of the schedules going forward. And then coming up a little bit later on tonight in the AHSAA Spotlight segment, you and I had a chance earlier today to catch up with Josh Niblett, the head coach of the Hoover Bucks. Again, back to number one in 7A, 32, I believe, consecutive wins in state for Hoover. And Coach Niblett on his week off joined us, and we appreciate that. Right now, it's Scores on the Fours.
Getting you the scores now. It's Scores on the Fours.
Top 10 in 5A. It was number 1 St. Paul's shutting out Linden, who is the number 8 team in 1A, 32-0. Number 2 Gunnersville, 28. Arab from 6A, 24. So Gunnersville gets a big win over a team that's a classification above them. Number 3 Jackson. They lose last night, 28-21. Ross Logan, forces a big fumble late as Demopolis rushes for 386 yards on 63 carries. Number 4, Mortimer Jordan, 42. John Carroll, nothing. Number 5, Russellville, 42. Sparkman, 24. And Sparkman is from 7A, so huge win for Russellville there. It was number 6, Ramsey, 47. Tarrant, 6. It's the first time Ramsey's been ranked in several years. They didn't even have a program for a while, so kudos to them. Number 7, Viger. They were bye this week. Number 8, Parker. They win 33-18 over Centerpoint from 6A. It was number 9, East Limestone, 10. Athens, 7. Athens also from 6A. Finally, Beauregard, they go down to Strawn, the number 6 team in 4A, 28-6. So you see a lot of teams stepping out of their own classification, and kudos to them that most of them are playing teams that are ranked in their classification, whether above them or below them.
Yeah, big games, good competition. In other scores, East Limestone defeats Athens 10-7. It was Horseshoe Bend over Collinsville 30-12. Jeff Davis defeats Sidney Lanier 24-0 the final there, and Strawn hands Beauregard a loss, final there 28-6. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurants, baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. We're going to step aside, take a break. After this local break, we'll come back, break down some region races next.
The Alex City Parks and Rec Department serves the residents of Alexander City with quality facilities and programs designed to positively affect the lives of the citizens. From youth sports programs to adult activities and our senior center, the Alex City Parks and Rec offers services for all ages. The Cooper Rec Center, Lake Winds Golf Course, and the Senior Activity Center are just some of the great features the Alex City Parks and Rec Department provides for the people of Alex City. For more information on any of our programs, visit acpr.me or call 256-329-6736.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Over the years, Lake Martin Community Hospital has served the Lake Martin area with a personal touch and grown to better serve your needs, including MRI services, a community fitness facility, wellness center, home health services, hospice program, full-service pharmacy, family medical center, and Lake Martin Community Hospital's emergency room is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whatever you need, whenever you need it. That's the personal touch that makes the difference at Lake Martin Community Hospital in Dadeville.
For over 30 years, Lackey's Floor Covering has been the name you can trust for premium name brand flooring. For 2 generations, Lackey's has made it easy to give your home that fresh look. Get better value without sacrificing on quality with names like Shaw's Carpet. No matter what room or style, we have the flooring you need with quality carpet, hardwood, and tile. Lackey's can consistently quote and install premium floors without busting your wallet. Let Lackey's Floor Covering show you how easy it is to get that fresh look in your home.
This gal wrote, "I am obsessed with Zaxby's yummy fried pickles. Is that wrong?" Well, Lisa Campbell changed her profile picture. Ma has a saying, "A fried pickle a day keeps the cravings away. She is a wise woman.
Those pickles ain't gonna pick themselves.
Mean as a hornet, though.
It's fried pickle season. Lightly breaded, fried to perfection, served with ranch dressing. Enjoy them before the crop's gone. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Times change, but what Alabama banks on never changes. In good times or difficult times, people in Alabama know they can bank on community ties, common history, strong relationships, and trusted experience. That's why, for over 110 years, Tallapoosa County has banked with Alliant. Log on to AlliantBank.com or come by one of our convenient locations and experience the same friendly service. Alliant, a century of banking on Alabama. Alliant Bank, a division of U.S. Ameribank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jeffcoat, Luke Robinson now, as we've had a few guests on and talked a little bit about some of the bigger games going on in the state. A reminder again, the Spotlight interview tonight, shortly after 11 o'clock, we'll be joined by Josh Niblett of the Hoover Bucks. They're off week this week, and big games going forward, so we'll talk to him a little bit later on in the show. Region standings, if you look at them now, and we really haven't taken a look at them, Luke, up until tonight, because you really haven't gotten far enough along. Everybody now has played about 3 region games, and we get ready to go into the stretch run of the season here. But there's a couple of regions that, to me, are extremely, extremely interesting. In particular, I'm talking about 7A Region 1 here. Fairhope is fabulous this year, no question about it. They're 5-0, they're 4-0 in region play. Now, right behind them, you've got Baker and Foley sitting there with their only losses to Fairhope.
Right.
Murphy still gets a shot at Fairhope, and they're sitting back there. Murphy's sitting back there at 2-1 in region play. They still get another shot at Fairhope while Baker, Murphy, and Foley play the round-robin game going down the stretch over the next few weeks. That's a brutal region, and that's one that, I kind of compared it on an email earlier today to a steel cage match going down the stretch.
Yeah, and when you look down at this region, you've got McGill-Tulane at 1-4 now after their loss tonight. And my goodness gracious, they started out the season one of the top 3 teams in the state.
Yeah, and then of course, you've got Central Phoenix City, in Region 2 7A. Now they're sitting there. They get a win over Opelika tonight to go to 6-0 overall. They're still 3-0 in region play. Big win over Prattville, but Central Phoenix City with that win over Prattville, I don't know how big of a threat is Jeff Davis to.
Not one.
Yeah,
I don't think they are one, honestly. And no offense to Jeff Davis. I mean, you're 3-2. You've looked a little bit better, 2-1 in the region. But Central Phoenix City all but has this thing locked down now.
And now you mentioned this before. You get Spain Park and Hoover next week. How interesting is that going to be? I mean, Spain Park 1-2 in region play now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. Let me tell you something. This Hoover team, while I think they're good and while I think they have talent all over the place, you got to remember Spain Park, one of the games they lost was that incredible quadruple overtime game last week. That just came down to a missed field goal. And Hewitt-Trussville's a very good team, obviously. They win again tonight over Gaston City. So I feel like they have their losses are good losses.
Mm-hmm. How did Blunt do tonight? Do you have the 6A in front of you?
Yeah, I know that I had the 6A, and Blunt ended up coming back to win. They defeated McGill.
Because that's another one here, 6A Region 1. Mm-hmm. You got Spanish Fort sitting there at 5-0. They're the number 1 team in 6A. They're running away with everything. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you get a quarterback injury.
Changes everything. If you know your Saraland played them last week, and that's the game he got hurt in.
That's right.
I mean, you always want to play your other team's best, I guess. I mean, that's what everybody says, right?
Right.
But I think somewhere inside you're thinking, if we had been able to play them without their quarterback, it certainly wouldn't have hurt.
So now you've still got Blunt sitting there at 2-1 in the region.
Right.
Baldwin County's at 2-1 in the region. Daphne at 3-1 in the region. And you got Saraland sitting there at 3-1 in the region. Now, Spanish Fort, again, I don't expect this team to fall off the map by any stretch of the imagination. But, Josh Bean told us earlier, that's a team with an offense. It's a spread offense. They put a lot on their quarterback. They ask him to do a lot on the field. So, do you have a guy that can step in? You know that you don't have a guy that can step in and do it the way Tyler Johnston was doing it, or he would have been the starter to begin with.
Exactly.
But, do you have somebody who can step in and kind of keep that train on the track, so to speak, for Spanish Fort going forward? That's the interesting thing.
People talk about losing a quarterback in college or in the pros and how big of an effect it is. I mean, think about it in high school. I mean, think about it. It's almost exponentially worse.
And especially when you run an offense, as Josh was saying earlier, they put so much on the quarterback.
Correct.
It just it makes it a whole other story. That's going to be an interesting region to watch going down the stretch there too. So we'll keep an eye on all those as it goes forward. Those playoff races are going to start to come into focus over the next 2-3 weeks with all the region games that are scheduled. So we'll be looking forward to those over the next couple of weeks. We're going to step aside, take a local break. When we come back, we are going to be joined by Al Third from the Fox, Sachs versus Weaver. We'll talk about it next. Right now, though, we got to get to some more scores. It's time for another edition of Scores on the Fours.
Getting you the scores faster. It's Scores on the Fours.
Top 10 in 4A was number 1 Leeds defeating Piedmont last night, 42-18. Of course, Piedmont, the number 16 in 3A. Tadero Marshall had another big game for the Leeds Green Wave. The total yards for Leeds, 559 yards. Number 2, UMS Wright, 43, Bayside 10. Number 3, Sachs, 52, Weaver 20. We'll be talking about Sachs here in just a second. Number 4, Thomasville. They lose tonight. Their first loss of the season is to Saraland out of 6A, 49-14. Number 5, Jacksonville, 50, Butler 16. Number 6, Strawn, 26. Beauregard 28-6, and Beauregard is from 5A. It was number 7, Fayette County, 18, Coleman 21, but again, Coleman is from 6A, so Fayette County going up 2 classifications. Number 8, St. James, they lose to Park Crossing 24-7. That was St. James' first loss of the year, and Park Crossing is from 6A. Number 9, Oneonta 33, Susan Moore 26, and number 10, Haleyville 53, Central of Florence 35.
Some other scores from around the state. Lynette tonight defeats Hanley 27-15. It was Geraldine over Sardis 21-12. Sandrock over Collinsville 35-13. Gunnersville over Arab 28-24. Isabella defeats Central Coosa 35-17. It was Vernon over Sullivan 29-10. Benjamin Russell defeats Stanhope Elmore 28-7. Reeltown over Elmore County 42-24, and Gordo over Sipsey Valley 34-7. Scores on the Four is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Visit baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. We'll step aside for a network break, and we'll be right back.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
You know Continental Roofing because of the thousands of satisfied roofing customers. But did you know Continental is your source for kitchen and bath renovations and for construction repairs? So whether you're looking for that dream kitchen, or you need that rotten chimney repaired, or the outdoor kitchen, call us today. Short on cash? No worries. Ask us about 6 months, same as cash. Several financing options available. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
River Region Sports Fields is a full-service athletic field company servicing the state of Alabama and the Southeast, specializing in construction, laser grading, aerification, top dressing, irrigation, and field drainage of athletic fields of any kind. River Region Sports Fields can manage the entire process of making the perfect athletic field for you. River Region Sports Fields. Give us a call, 205-617-4884, riverregionsportsfields.com.
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self-Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
At Cadence, We believe money should get out of the bank and into action, getting out into the world of business, for energy companies, the healthcare industry, legal and accounting firms, and for individuals, wealth management. When you find your Cadence in Alabama, you turn money into action. So join us and we'll work together to find your Cadence at Cadence Bank.
Member FDIC.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or Strawberry Shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay and Luke, Friday night, week 6 of the high school football season. And right now we got to talk about really one of the better teams in the state, and that is Sacs. Another big win tonight for Sacs as they defeat Weaver 52-20. And on the line with us right now from WFXZ, the Fox, is the voice of Sacs football tonight, Mr. Al Third. Al, how you doing?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Very good. Tell us about your game tonight.
Well, Sacs, of course, you told the score 52-20 over a longtime rival in the Weaver Bearcats. And Sacs came out of the gate looking true to form as they have all season and led early 14-0. And Weaver did get back into the game in the first half. They scored a touchdown in the second quarter and able to close that margin. But Sacs really never looked back and just had a terrific ball game.
Here's one thing I thought about. When you think 4A, you think about Leeds, you think about Strawn, you think about UMS Wright. But their Sacs at number 3, they seem to have kind of snuck up on everybody. Do you think they have the talent to hang with somebody like a Leeds or a UMS Wright this year?
Well, that remains to be seen. You got strong teams in UMS Wright and Leeds, of course, close here in our area, but Sacs has a lot of talent. They've got a lot of speed, a lot of quickness on the defensive and offensive lines as well, and they're able to track to the ball and they're able to get in the backfield defensively. So Sacs has a lot of talent, and maybe not quite the size to some degree for some of these other teams, but certainly Sacs has the opportunity to get there. Of course, they went to the semifinals last season, and so Sacs really kind of steps in and takes people by surprise.
Let's talk a little bit about region play because obviously you got to deal with Jacksonville, you got to deal with Cleveland County coming up, right?
Oh, sure, and that's going to be exciting to see how it all plays out. Of course, Sacs has Crossville next week, Hokes Bluff the following week, but Cleveland County and Jacksonville, the final 2 games in region play for Sacs, and those are going to be a couple of tough contests, certainly, because Jacksonville is on a roll, and Cleveland County won big tonight as well. Of course, that was, as we know, not in region play, but those teams are no slouches, and certainly the Jacksonville and Sacs, Cleveland County, the top 3 in the region thus far. So it's going to come down to those 3 to see who wins the region championship.
Well, tell us about Sacs going forward, even past that. What else is coming up on the schedule?
Well, you've got those games that I mentioned, and Lafayette coming up at the end of the season, which is a 2A team, as you know, and kind of a wind down for the Wildcats, but also using that as a tune-up game for postseason. Of course, a lot of teams will have an open date to end the season, getting started a week earlier. Sacs chose not to do that, but that's the way that it looks for Sacs coming down the stretch. So you certainly don't want to look past any of those games, but the Hokes Bluff, Cleveland County, and Jacksonville are going to be really the next 3 big games for Sacs. as far as the way the region has stacked up. And the class of those three teams, obviously, Cleveland County and Jacksonville.
Al, how do you get Cleveland County, Jacksonville? Do you get them at home? You get them on the road?
Jacksonville will play at SAC. Cleveland County, we will have to go there and play in Ellie Bell Field, which is always a tough venue for anybody to go in and play. But SAC has been victorious there before, so we'll just have to see how that plays out. But you do get Jacksonville at home, who seems to be maybe the stronger of the two teams.
Well, you need that home game, though. Hey, Al, listen, thanks a lot for the time, all right?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you having me on, gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you.
Great region right there, and one to watch going down the stretch. Three good teams
Getting
battling
you
it
the
out.
scores
Scores on the
faster.
fours right now.
It's Scores on the Fours.
We got the 3A top 10 teams now, as another number one has a bye week this week. Madison Academy, they were off. Number 2, T.R. Miller, they win 58-20 over Escambia County. It was number 3, Dale County, 39, Eufaula 13. Number 4, Glencoe, 42, Pokes Bluff, 14, Gordo, 34, Sipsey Valley, 7. Number 6, Piedmont, as we said earlier, goes down to Leeds, 42-18. Number 7, Lauderdale County, 56, Brooks, 7. Number 8, Montgomery Academy, 20, Trinity Presbyterian, 11. It was number 9, Pike County, 20, Luverne, 18, and number 10, Aliceville, 22. Pickens County, the number 6 team out of 2A, 6. And what's interesting about this score sheet for 3A, nobody ranked played another 3A team.
Nobody played.
They played either a 4A, 5A, or 2A team.
Well, there you go. Everybody tuning up now as we get ready for the stretch run. Wellborn tonight defeats Moody 48-21. Walker over Madison 52-6. It was Chelsea over Helena tonight 64-35. Calera defeats Shelby County 47-6. It was Wilcox over Sumter Academy 55-7. Winfield over Hamilton 31-28. White Plains defeats Pleasant Valley 49-28. And Enterprise over Dothan, a rivalry game there, 48-27. Scores on the Four is brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Visit baumhauers.com for location information or for menus. Legendary food, legendary fun. We step aside. We'll come back with Clark Stewart from WHEP next after this local break.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Hey, Jerry. Nice yard. I bet this dead wood really hits home for you. The only thing getting trimmed around here are property values.
Does it ever feel like your yard work is taunting you?
Where you going? The nail salon's the other way.
Take back your yard with professional-grade equipment from Echo. Reliable, easy to use, and backed by a 5-year warranty. Echo. Get serious.
Get your SRN 225 trimmer at Satterfield's, Highway 280, Alexander City.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go. Conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters can keep you safe from the storm. We offer a variety of underground fiberglass storm shelters available in 3 different sizes, or the double-hulled underground polymer shelter with a heavy-duty all-aluminum door and frame for extra security. Plus, we have several models of above-ground steel safe rooms and community shelters that can be installed in your home, garage, or place of business to keep you safe from the storm.
Lake Martin Storm Shelters, a shelter in the storm.
Tailgating and an award-winning vehicle from Bice Motors in Alex City. You can't beat this time of year.
Buy that bike! Buy that bike! Hop!
Everybody wins during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Tailgate party savings!
High pressure? Decline.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Roll Tide! War Eagle! Go Wildcats!
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay and Luke with you, week 6 of the high school football season. And Clark Stewart, WHEP, and Foley, we're efforting him right now. They had a game tonight against Robertsdale. So we're trying to get up with Clark, and wanted to talk about that Region 1 a little bit in 7A because it's such a great region to watch there with Fairhope and Foley and Murphy and Baker. And, of course, I guess the old 6A Region 1 was the same way.
Yeah, well, this is the SEC West of regions in 7A. There's no doubt about it.
And Foley gets a win tonight over Robertsdale. That final was 31-13, so we do know that much. While we have a couple of minutes here as our producer Daniel efforts to reach Clark, we're going to run down just some scores for you. Hazel Green defeats Fort Payne tonight 46-0. It was Bibb
County.
Bibb County, I'm sorry, and that's Dallas County there. 42-20. Jacksonville over Butler 50-16. Andalusia over Opp 28-27 in overtime. Sounds like a great game there. Wadley over Lafayette 42-39, and Minor defeats Gardendale 50-43. You mentioned that game earlier.
Unbelievable contest. Minor, I believe it was Maurice Smitherman, the Mississippi State commitment, takes the opening kickoff back all the way. So they return the favor. Gardendale does by returning that kickoff all the way. And Minor takes a pretty commanding lead in this game. Looks like it's over. It's Gardendale's homecoming. They're all going to be sad. Well, what do you know? Gardendale ties it up at 43 late in the contest. Gardendale has the ball. They're driving moderately. Scoop and score fumble for Minor. They ruin homecoming for Gardendale. Unbelievable game.
It sounded well. 93 points, and right there on the edge of your seat, big plays all over the place. Ramsey defeats Tarrant tonight 47-6. It was Talladega over Springville 39-24. Elba over Daleville tonight 38-34. It was Fairfield over Midfield 19-13. Montevallo defeats Asheville 42-14. Russellville over Sparkman 42-24. And Austin tonight defeats Huntsville by a final of 28-16. Those are some of the scores from around the state tonight. What stands out to you tonight? Obviously, we had a great game, Central Phoenix City and Opelika. Fabulous game there. Anything else stand out to you? Like we talked about, not a lot of big region games tonight. Maybe some interesting cross-classification type matchups.
What's really standing out to me is not so much any scores. I guess you could take away McGill-Tulane. They continued their slide. They had a big lead tonight, and they end up giving it up. But Bob Jones, they go 0-2 after being named number
Bob
1.
Jones.
It's a big deal. But really what's standing out more than anything is all the teams that are idle this week. I mean, the top 2 teams in 7A, the top 3 teams in 6A, and then the number 1 team from 3A, all idle.
Well, and we talked about this with the new scheduling starting a week earlier. Everybody gets to choose. They can play that first week, or they can be a jamboree game or something like that. You get an open date during the course of the season. I think it's interesting to me just to watch how coaches schedule that open date. Some coaches taking it at the end of the year as an off week to get ready for playoffs. Some coaches taking it middle of the season, as we're seeing tonight, to kind of get ready for that stretch run of region play. Some coaches taking it in the first week of the season, playing 10 consecutive. And I guess guess it really, we could probably get 10 coaches together and they could give you 10 different reasons to do it differently, right?
Certainly. I mean, look, a lot of ways to skin that cat. I mean, I know Benjamin Russell here locally, they are taking the last week of the season off. I mean, you could certainly make an argument. That's a big deal. You want to have that last little bit to rest up.
When we come back, we're going to talk to a guy who's had a couple of big games to talk about tonight, Jeremy Smith, WSLY. In York, Alabama, as well as the West Alabama Watchman. We'll talk to him about some of the big games in West Alabama. He had a big game last night, a big game tonight. He got to see some quality football. But we'll do that after we run down some scores. And again, we're sorry we weren't able to reach you, Clark Stewart. We'll try you again maybe next week if we can, or several times down the stretch. It's time for Scores on the Fours right now, presented by Baumhauer's Restaurant.
Getting you the scores now. It's Scores on the Fours.
2A top 10 now as number 1 Fife. They keep rolling along 62-15 over Sylvania. It was last night Washington County defeating Milry 53-0, and Milry is nothing to shake a stick at. They were number 9 in 1A. Number 3 Tanner. They lose to Maplesville tonight 36-21. The big news there, those are the first points Maplesville has given up all year long. Number 4, GW Long, 49. Slocum, 7. Number 5, Reeltown, 48. Elmore County, 30. That game was much closer than I thought it would be. Number 6, Pickens County. They lose to Aliceville, who's ranked in 3A, 36-6. Number 7, Geneva County. They were off tonight. Number 8, Ranburne, 42. Beulah, 14. Number 9, Leroy. They get shut out by Faith Academy, 22-0. However, got to say, Faith Academy is out of 5A. Leroy only in 2A. And number 10, Sweetwater, 49. RC Hatch, 24.
That was one that I really wanted to try to get a bird's eye view, and I couldn't come up with anybody that was going to be at the game to talk with us tonight. That Tanner Maplesville, and what a fabulous matchup that is.
It's huge, and Maplesville I know is number 2 in 1A, and they may be moving on up here pretty soon, but those are the first points they've given up all year long. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. Other scores from around the state tonight: North Jackson over Scottsboro, 35-33. It was Dadeville over Tallahassee, 14-11. Oxford over Vestavia, we talked about that one, 35-14. The final, Glencoe defeats Hoax Bluff 42-14. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Check out baumhauers.com for locations. Legendary food, legendary fun. We'll step aside for a network break. Come back with Jeremy Smith from the West Alabama Watchman next.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store.
Hey, Box, we just helped a man who wanted to build a new deck.
Oh, yeah? How'd you do that?
Well, he came in, made an appointment with one of our project engineers, which is free, by the way. Walked him through the materials list and helped him with each step. Now he has a beautiful new deck, all at our low price guarantee.
Well, I just helped a guy that wanted to build a brand new deck.
Really? How?
I sent him over to aisle number 24, the lumber aisle.
9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this. You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
To speak with a farmer's agent in your community, call 888-96-FARMERS.
With over 125 years as North America's leading shingle manufacturer, GAF has selected Continental Roofing for Master Elite status. Only 3% of all roofing companies in the United States can qualify for this prestigious certification. It means Continental Roofing can offer the best roofing system warranty available anywhere. With so many roofing companies that have come and gone, look to Continental Roofing to provide total peace of mind with your next roof. For quality, value, and superior customer service, Continental Roofing is on top of it.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or Strawberry Shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
The communities of Auburn and Opelika are proud to be hosting the Alabama High School State Football Championships this December. Sponsored by the Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau, Auburn University Athletics, the cities of Auburn and Opelika, and Uncle Bob's Self Storage. This year's Super 7 will be at beautiful Jordan-Hare Stadium, December 3rd through the 5th. Log on to aotourism.com/Super7 today to make hotel reservations, buy tickets to the games, and find out everything you need to know about the best high school football Alabama has to offer.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Jay and Luke, as we have now passed 11 o'clock tonight, we've gotten all the scores in, and we're just running them down for you and talking to some folks about some of the games that they've been able to observe. And one guy that we talk to every week is the well-traveled Jeremy Smith from the West Alabama Watchman and WSLY Radio. So, Jeremy, you had Demopolis, Jackson, Linden, St. Paul's. Where do you want to start?
Fellas, we'll start with St. Paul's Linden because there's not as much to say about that. It happened tonight, 32-0 St. Paul's over Linden. St. Paul's is a long drive for them. They had their troubles with the wing tee early on. Linden was really able to move the ball fairly well. The size differential on the front line really made a difference. Linden couldn't stay on blocks long enough to sustain drives. So credit St. Paul's for doing what they needed to do to get the win there. But one final note on Linden, guys. People are going to look at that record and think this is not as good of a team as it's been in years past. Those 3 losses are to the number 2 team in Class 2A, Washington County. 14-0 on the road at Maplesville last week. That's the number 2 team in 1A, and then of course the number 1 team in 5A. So you're looking at a Linden team who could be 5-4 at the end of the regular season, and every bit as good as they always have been because they've still got 5A Dora on the schedule down the road.
Yeah, that's a crazy schedule.
Jeremy, tell me about Darius Whitfield for St. Paul's and also Jalen Thompson. I know Whitfield's only a junior, I believe, and Thompson, he's committed to South Alabama, and that's a guy that some SEC schools are looking at.
Jalen Thompson had 4 touches tonight and amassed 135 yards from scrimmage on just 4 touches. He also had a 42-yard touchdown reception. He, to me, is the best athlete on that team. He's fantastic. Darius Whitfield was involved in a really bizarre play where he explodes through the line of scrimmage, just takes the ball out of the hand of the Linden back, rumbles about 15 yards, and then fumbles it himself. And so credit Walter Little, who came around the backside and scooped up his teammate's fumble and scored for St. Paul's. But Darius Whitfield's a tough guy to block, and I think he's going to be really, really special.
And I believe he's the half-brother of Josh Casher, who signed with Alabama last year. So they've got they've got some talent in that family, no doubt.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Some bloodlines there.
Hey, Demopolis Jackson, tell us about that one.
Oh, wow. Guys, it was one of the wackiest games I've seen, and Demopolis really dominated a lot of that ball game. And if they can finish a couple more drives, it's really never close. It's a 28-21 ball game, and 14 of Jackson's points came off of fumble returns for touchdowns. Demopolis actually put the ball on the ground 7 times last night, and it's they're having a ball security issue. The last 2 weeks they've fumbled it 13 times. But Demopolis is going down. They get the ball on the 1-yard line, 4th and goal, and an opportunity to kick the field goal and go up 10 with less than 5 minutes to go. They choose to go for it. They don't get it. Jackson drives 98 yards. Wow. At the tail end of a 9-yard run, the quarterback is stretching the ball to try to get it into the end zone. Demopolis knocks it free and recovers the fumble and holds on for the win, 28-21. And it was shades of last year where Demopolis went up 28-21. Jackson came all the way down the field and scored, went for 2 and won 29-28.
That's a nutty game. That's one you probably enjoy being at this week. And tell us about your schedule for next week.
Well, we've we've got Linden hosting Elwood Christian on Thursday night, and I expect that that's when Linden's going to remind the rest of the high school football world that everything is okay in Linden. And Demopolis is going to host Sumter Central. They've really got kind of a cool thing going on. Demopolis won the state title in 2004 and again in 2009, so they're going to have those teams back in to celebrate the 5 and 10-year anniversaries. And Demopolis is heading into a portion of its schedule where I expect they're going to be resting their starters a lot over the next 4 weeks. So look at them to be at 8-1 and largely untested for the next month as they get ready for the last week of the regular season.
Jeremy Smith, thank you so much. Every week we appreciate your time.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Jeremy Smith, the West Alabama Watchman, and also WSLY Radio there in York, Alabama. Does a great job over there covering West Alabama. We've got to step aside and take a look at some scores. Speaking of 1A teams, we were just talking about that, weren't we? Right now, we got to step aside and take a look at scores on the 4s. It's brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant, Baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Let's do scores on the 4s right now.
Scores on the 4s.
In top 10 1A action, you had number 1 Brantley, 48, Highland Home 21. It was number 2 Maplesville 36, Tanner 21. The big news there is that Tanner puts up the first 21 points of against Maplesville all year long. That's incredible. Number 3 Hubbardville, they had a bye week this week. Number 4 Ragland, they win 24-19 over Cedar Bluff. Number 5 Donahoe wins 42-0 over Fayetteville. Number 6, A.L. Johnson, 38, Marengo, 22. Number 7, McKenzie, 14, Hillcrest Evergreen, 12. It was number 8, Linden, being shut out by the number 1 team in 5A, 32-0. Number 9, Milry, they are also shut out, 53-0 by Washington County, the number 2 team in 2A. And number 10, Berry, they win a squeaker, 22-20 over Shoals Christian.
Maplesville tonight against Tanner. How big of a statement is that for Maplesville?
I think it's monstrous. Now, I got to say, though, if you're Tanner, you have to feel pretty good about yourself. This Maplesville defense is historic.
I'm just thinking of, Tanner, higher classification.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously a power
Rank.
in higher classification. And then Maplesville to do what they did after giving up 21 points, to do what they Maplesville right now kind of making a case to be the number 1, not the number 2 team in 1A, right?
Totally agree, but Brantley's always right there, too. Don't ever count them out.
Well, that's definitely going to be a fun classification to watch as we get it. Maybe you and I'll get the 1A championship game again.
I'd love it. Hey, those are my favorite.
It'd be a lot of fun. It's all brought to you, Scores on the 4s, by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. We're going to step aside for a local break here. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Hoover Bucks, Josh Niblett, for the AHSAA Spotlight next on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Advanced Heating and Air is East Central Alabama's certified train comfort specialist. That means the pros at Advanced make you the focus with superior service on all brands, 24-hour availability, and in most cases, same-day response. Advanced Heating and Air is exclusive with Train Heating and Air products that deliver the longest reliability and great energy efficiency with an amazing 0% 60-month financing package on all new Train products. The best service contacts in the region, and all pricing is upfront so you have no surprises. Advanced Heating and Air, where your comfort is our number 1 concern.
Some people think Allstate only protects your car. Here's the truth. Allstate can also protect your home or apartment, as well as your boat, motorcycle, RV, and snowmobile, and even your retirement and your life. Not many insurance companies can say that, but Allstate can.
For more information about how to bundle and save, you can contact Bland Insurance Group either by phone at 256-392-9244, or you can visit us on Facebook or our website at blandinsuranceGroup.com.
General's Cafe in New Site is the area's #1 place for great food with great people. General's Cafe has only the best home-cooked food served hot and fresh and is sure to feed your appetite. General's has everything from the delicious fish plate to big juicy steaks. Come in every day for lunch and get the daily special, which will fill your belly and save you money. When you're looking for a good meal in a family-friendly atmosphere, then make the short drive out to General's Cafe on Highway 22 East in New Site.
Amtech is proud to be part of the Alexander City area. Amtech understands the importance of education, athletics, and teamwork. Support from friends, family, classmates, and faculty play a big part of success on the field. Amtech wishes the Wildcats best of luck this year, not only in the games, but in all of your academic achievements as well. Good luck, BRHS athletes, coaches, band members, cheerleaders, faculty, and students from Amtech.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
This gal wrote, "I am obsessed with Zaxby's yummy fried pickles. Is that wrong?" Well, Lisa Campbell changed her profile picture. Ma has a saying, "A fried pickle a day keeps the cravings away." She is a wise woman.
Those pickles ain't gonna pick themselves.
Mean as a hornet, though.
It's fried pickle season. Lightly breaded, fried to perfection, served with ranch dressing. Enjoy them before the crop's gone. Zaxby's, indescribably good.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show as we move into our AHSAA Spotlight segment. And this week, we're very pleased to have with us the head coach at Hoover High School, Josh Niblett, joining us on the phone. It's his off week this week, and nice enough to spend a little bit of time doing some radio and television with us. Coach, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Fantastic.
Doing fantastic, Coach. Thanks so much for being with us. One thing that jumps out whenever you talk about Hoover, especially lately, is you guys' propensity to play out-of-state teams that are very, very strong. This year, you've got one of the better teams in Georgia, one of the better teams in Florida, and at the end of the season, you got one of the better teams in Tennessee. How does that help you prepare for the playoffs later on?
Well, to God be the glory, man. We've been blessed to be able to try to establish some things within our program to where we have a standard that we want to go by, and we feel like anytime we can play the best competition out there that allows us a chance to get better. We got great competition within our state, but I think anytime you can go out of your state, get out of your comfort zone, see a little bit different as far as you may see a little different athlete, you see a little different scheme, you see a little different way that it's coached, I think only allows you an opportunity to get better. So, we feel like by playing that kind of schedule and playing within the region that we play in, that we'll be battle tested at the end of the year when the playoffs roll around. So, that's the basis of why we do it. It's great exposure for our kids. It's great exposure for our program. So, anytime you can give these kids some exposure, it's also great.
Do you feel like you'll keep playing those games? Do ESPN help set those up?
Yeah, no doubt. We'll continue to play out of state. I know in 2016, actually, we opened the season at Allen, Texas. So we will play them in 2016. We're working on some stuff right now for who we're going to play in our open spot within our schedule for next year. And then also whether that be game 2 or game 10. So we definitely want to continue to keep that rolling if we can. Our kids get excited about that. I think it just gives you a little different sense of urgency to know that it's a little bit more to the unknown than it is when you're playing somebody from in-state.
And meanwhile, your schedule doesn't get any easier in-state either. I think you got this off week this week. Then you've got Spain Park, Tuscaloosa County, Vestavia, and Hewitt-Trussville. It just doesn't seem to stop for you.
Well, I tell you, man, our biggest thing is that we just want to be 1-0 after every day, and we don't we try not to talk about games. I mean, we talk about practice. We talk about being 1-0 at the end of Monday's practice, and then Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays. And if we can continue to get better every day and try to have tunnel vision about what we're doing, and don't listen to all the noise outside the program, and stay locked in, focused on what we're doing, then we can have an opportunity to be pretty special. But I think early on in the year, I think we heard a little bit of that noise, and when you hear it, you start believing it a little bit. That's never what we've been about. We've always been about as being as blue collar as we can, just keeping our nose to the grind and not really listening to anything outside the bubble or anything outside the program. And we've gotten back to that, so it's allowed us a chance the last 3 weeks to start playing like we're supposed to play. And I think that's going to be important, especially going into this stretch. We had a great week of practice this week. Sometimes when you take an open week, the kids can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and if you're not too careful, you'll wish the future on you, where you want the game to get there and you lose your preparation. So talk about that day in and day out. We had a lot of time this week where we were able to do some competition against each other, which I think anytime you can do that, your kids understand the tempo of practice and staying up, it only makes you better.
Coach, we are just about out of time, and again, we want to thank you for taking time out of your open week this week to come on and speak with us. Continued success to you and the Hoover Bucks. Best of luck for the rest of this season.
Well, God bless you guys. Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate what you do for Alabama high school football.
Thank you, Coach.
That is head coach Josh Niblett, Hoover High School, joining us. 149-38. Luke, it's hard to beat that in a coaching career, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
And the record at Hoover speaks for itself.
And the alums that have come out of there, just my goodness, Hoover's just been the powerhouse program. There's no doubt about it.
And again, the new number one, meet the new boss, same as the old boss, the new and former number one team in 7A in the AHSAA. We're going to step aside, take a look at who our player of the week is after we get to Scores on the Fours here on the AHSAA Radio Network.
Getting you the scores now. It's Scores on the Fours.
Let's go to the top 10 in the AHSAA. It was number 1, Edgewood Academy, 67, Lakeside 6. Number 2, Bessemer Academy, 20, Restoration Academy, 6. Number 3, Monroe Academy, 33, Autauga Academy, 7. Number 4, Escambia Academy, 41, Hooper Academy, nothing. Number 5, Restoration Academy, as I mentioned earlier, they lose to Bessemer Academy 20-6. Number 6, Marengo, they win tonight 41, or Marengo Academy, I should say, they win tonight 41-13 over Patrician. Number 7, Wilcox Academy 55, Sumter Academy 7. Number 8, Autauga Academy loses to Monroe Academy, as I mentioned earlier, 33-7. Number 9, Abbeville Christian 15. Crenshaw Christian 22, so an upset there. And number 10, South Choctaw Academy 53, Lowndes Academy 12.
And some other scores around the state. Talladega tonight defeats Springville 39-24. It was Fairfield over Midfield 19-13. Isabella over Central Coosa 35-17. East Limestone defeats Athens 10-7. Horseshoe Bend over Collinsville 30-12. It was Northridge over Pelham 38-0. Scores on the Fours brought to you by Baumhauer's Restaurant. Check them out at baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. We'll come back, preview next week, and wrap things up here after our Player of the Week. This is the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show.
It's time for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show Player of the Week. Each week, all season long, the AHSAA Radio Network honors outstanding performances on a gridiron.
This week's AHSAA Player of the Week is Tallahassee senior running back Brandon Baines. Brandon had 26 carries for 380 yards, averaging 14.6 yards per carry, with touchdown runs of 68, 57, 65, and 71 yards, as the Tallahassee Tigers upset number 5 ranked Central of Clay County Volunteers. Congratulations to the AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week, Tallahassee senior running back Brandon Baines.
Congratulations to our Player of the Week and to all the athletes that keep us on the edge of our seats on Friday nights. It's the AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week. You're listening to the AHSAA Radio Network.
Welcome back to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. One final segment here. We got just over a minute left in this segment, Luke. And next week, we get back into hardcore region play as things get going for the next 3-4 weeks.
It's some monster games. I know I've said them over and over again, but Shades Valley against Clay Chalkville, you're not going to find a better collection of superstars in one stadium this season, I don't think. I mean, you've got Keith Mixon, who I think is just fabulous, and David Payne. You've got Darren Payne, I should say, excuse me. And then you've got Rashad Louis for Shades Valley, and Clay Chalkville. They have too many to mention. Pigram at quarterback, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, a great game. We'll definitely get a report from there one way or the other. I can about guarantee that. The AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show is a presentation of the AHSAA Radio Network. Big thanks to our director, producer, Daniel Vest in there tonight. Seth Hagan also helping us out tonight. David Burkhalter helping us out as well. Jackson Hedges was off tonight. I don't know how that happened. He got the week off, and we didn't. We were here. For Luke Robinson, I'm Jay Jeffcoat. Executive producer John Kennedy. I should probably mention that too. We'll see you next week at 10 p.m. right here on the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. Have a great weekend.
You've been listening to the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show from the AHSAA Radio Network, powered by LMG. Brought to you by River Region Sports Fields, the Auburn Opelika Tourism Bureau, Olivia's Cabinet Design, a division of Continental Roofing, Russell Do-It and Building Supply Centers, and by Bumhauer's Restaurant. Legendary food, legendary fun. Thanks for listening, and join us next Friday night at 10 p.m. for the AHSAA Radio Network Scoreboard Show. This is the AHSAA Radio Network.